Just know that if someone moves on so fast after a relationship, they're running away from themselves. Someone that can't take a literal second to feel what just happened to them, they are running away from themselves. You need a lot more help than you can give. People cope with things in different ways. Imagine you doing drugs, okay? Him getting with another girl is the equivalent of you doing drugs. You're numbing the pain, finding yourself a distraction. That distraction might work out well for you, like really well for you. In a couple of years, you're gonna have to face what you were running away from. It's okay. Let him do his crack cocaine. You're fine.
Men don't approach women anymore because of FOBC. They don't want to be viewed as a creep. They don't want to be rejected, especially hot men. The only men that are going up to women and approaching them are ugly.
Guys have figured out the game. And the guys that have options don't need to approach you anymore. That's just the reality. You're so for the attention now that they have figured out that if they've got it together, if they're, pretty good looking, if they've got their finances and if they've got the confident energy, all that stuff, they don't need to go over to you.
Is it possible for an OnlyFans girl to be a wife material girl, do you think?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so to the people that think that it's not.
I mean, like, why would it be a problem? They're not going out and people.
No.
And if anything, they're probably more self-sufficient, that they're not going out there chasing men for money. They're probably more genuine people. I think at the end of the day, if you have something against it, don't go for an OnlyFans girl.
If you are a male and you are watching this, if you are seeing a girl, you start liking a girl and she does OnlyFans when you first met her, you have no right to tell her she has to stop doing it. You can't come into someone's life telling them they can't do it.
A lot of these women don't really understand you can't mock a man for shooting his shot and then wonder why he stopped shooting. Wonder why he stopped approaching you. Because you were being an...
Depending on where she meets you, that's how she's going to treat you. Write it down. Depending on where she meets you, that's how she's going to treat you. You meet her on Facebook, she's going to treat you like the Facebook version of herself. You meet her on Instagram, she's going to treat you like the Instagram version of herself. You meet her on Bumble, she's going to treat you like the Bumble. You meet her at the job, that's her job version. You meet her at a family event, that's her family event. You meet her at church, that's her church version. You meet her on the sugar daddy site, that's her sugar daddy version of herself. They're not the same. They're all different women. You meet her at a strip club, that's the strip club version of herself. You meet her at the bar, nightclub, that's the nightclub version of herself.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video. A lot of these women don't really understand you can't mock a man for shooting his shot and then wonder why he stopped shooting. Wonder why he stopped approaching you. Because you were being an idiot.
So I just recently had a conversation with my father about why I feel like chivalry is today. Why men aren't men anymore. And after listing off a bunch of reasons, he looks up from his table and he says, "You know why that is, right?" And I said, "Well, because their parents didn't teach them to be." And he said, "No, men are not chivalrous because women these days do not require that they give them the respect they deserve. Precious women these days do not demand that a man bring to the table what she deserves. That is why men are not chivalrous." And he is so right. He's so right.
You never want to be wifey material. If a man ever calls you wifey material, run.
He's
run. He
you.
thinks you're dumb.
Yep.
He thinks you're dumb.
In case you didn't know that, ladies, that is not a flex. He's like, I can pull the wool over her eyes. She's a dumb. That's literally what they're not going to say that to you, but that's what they're thinking. And that's why they will marry you, because they're like, I want a dummy. So that's why I'm going to go get one. And I'm talking about these particular men who think this way. Men obviously don't think their wives are dummies. But these red pill men,
and they'll be the ones that call you wifey material because that's like your role. Like they think that should be like your role in life.
What you're supposed to do.
And they think it's a compliment. And it's like, no, like that means they haven't listened to a single thing you've said about yourself. That means they don't give a about your ambitions, your goals, your hopes and dreams.
They don't care
exactly. And that's why they say that. No, because they really do mean it. And like at this point, they're kind of starting to just say the quiet part out loud for sure.
You'll find that decent like good quality men, I don't know if I've ever heard them say, you wifey material. Like, I don't even know if they've ever even said that. Like, what?
Modern women think they're so smart. But the thing is, men know when they're being manipulated. They know when you're trying to do something or say something that is not in their best interest and you're trying to trick.
And if he moves on and never texts me again, then that's it. I'll continue no contact forever. That is the closure that I need. I have stopped telling myself that I need to speak to him one more time and have closure. I don't need closure. This is the closure. If he can go on and not talk to me and move on, then he's not the person for me. I think if someone can walk out on you and leave you, then that is literally the greatest departure from your soulmate ever. If somebody feels that they can live without you and be without you and not contact you, I know it hurts, but you cannot contact them, because if they're meant for you, they will come back. Like, if they are meant to be the person for you, they will come back to you. It's inevitable. And yeah, I'm just getting to this place where I truly am okay with whatever outcome. I don't really care. I'm quite happy with the space and the silence. He doesn't feel the urgency to talk to me.
Modern women think they're so smart. But the thing is, men know when they're being manipulated. They know when you're trying to do something or say something that is not in their best interest and you're trying to trick.
Women think the relationship is all about them. They do. Everything is centered around what she wants. And if that's fine, in her mind, everything is cool. And she does not care what the man is going through. She don't care what his challenges are or any of those things. Mm-hmm. So what ends up happening, the male believes that he keeps the marriage together because if he goes to cheat or whatever, like those 41 shades, for different reasons, they left you with the marriage because the marriage was all you wanted. You didn't actually want the man. You wanted the marriage. The fairy tale. You wanted the fairy tale. So the man feels that he gave you what you wanted. You wanted the marriage. You wanted the money. You wanted the kids. You wanted all of this crap. And never consider what he's mentally going through. Never considers what he invests into the relationship. A lot of men deal with this. And so what they end up doing is getting things outside of the relationship. And what? The woman is still mad.
Modern women, it's crazy because they say that, well, I want to be left alone. I don't want men talking to me. And when men leave you alone, then you get upset. Men heard you. They stopped approaching you. They stopped messing with you and quote unquote harassing you, as you say. And now you're confused as to why the request that you made was honored. This is what you asked for. What are you talking about?
If your husband feels more like your handyman than your man, we've got a problem. You don't get to withhold affection, bark orders, and treat him like he's just there to fix stuff and fund your life, then act shocked when the chemistry's off. Men crave affection just like we do, but they're quieter about it. So when he starts pulling away or shutting down, it's not because he doesn't care. It's because he's tired of feeling unwanted. You used to flirt, reach for him. Now he's lucky to get a half-hearted love you before bed. And I get it. Life is loud. But don't let tired be your personality forever. You still have to show up for your marriage. It's not about being in the mood every second. It's about being intentional. Because here's the truth. If you keep treating him like he's just there, don't be surprised when he starts acting like he's not yours. Affection isn't extra, it's essential. So don't wait till he's distant to wake up. Start showing up before it's too late.
A lot of these men approaching now are the ones that don't really care about rejection. Those are the creeps that you guys are talking about. Not all the guys, but there are a lot of men out there that are approaching that really don't care nothing about your feelings, right? I don't really care about rejection. I don't care about much else either. I don't really even care about you. I'm just trying to get the draw.
This is my proof that I think that the population is going to slowly decline because I am in a room of like 100 men this day and age, don't want to date.
There are so many men in that room, so just find one that you find cute and walk up to him. Or even if you don't want to do that, make a circle around the room. I don't know if she was there with a friend, but when I used to go to those environments with friends, we would make a circle around the room. If I saw a guy that I found cute, I would like give him a little smile. Even if I didn't directly go up to him, I would have a sort of open demeanor where a lot of the guys that I would smile at would eventually come up to me. All the guys there have no idea that you want them to approach you, so you have to send more inviting signals. You need to send more IOIs, or you might need to be the one who approaches them if you find a guy that you really find attractive. And I know a lot of women don't want to hear that, but I just think it's one of those things where I see so many women be so proactive about every other area of their lives, but this one, it's like there's almost a refusal to put in a certain amount of effort to get the outcome that you want. And I'm not saying that that means that you have to automatically walk up to a guy and approach him yourself, but there are so many ways to, it's called dropping the handkerchief, to send signs or signals that you would be open to being approached or that you find that guy attractive. So that is my best advice if you really want to make this thing happen, but let me know what you guys think. Bye.
You know, a lot of men are not approaching because they learn their lesson, right? Tried being a gentleman, learn my lesson. Tried being, the good guy, the stable guy. I learned my lesson. Try to be assertive. Try to be vulnerable. I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. In all of these situations, modern women are continuing to ruin the dating market with their food.
Men in my comments right now are like, oh, so women get to have standards, but men just have to pay for everything and deal with it?
No, y'all are missing the point completely. I absolutely believe that men should have standards. I really respect a man who has boundaries. But what we're not going to do is use that as an excuse to avoid accountability. In community, you hold your people accountable, like your friends. So if we're saying that we want quality relationships, then we have to be quality people. That includes telling your homeboy or your homegirl, yo, you tripping, or you shouldn't say it like that, or if this is how you feel, you should be honest. And yes, there are women out here taking advantage, and I don't like that either, because it creates this cycle where good, genuine women like myself who actually want partnership end up dealing with men who are overly guarded, resentful, and bitter. If I have no intention of pursuing a relationship with somebody, I'm not going to let them spend money on me, because as nice as that seems from the outside looking in, it just really feels unfair. I'm not a user, and that investment could be better spent on somebody who's actually going to give the man what he's looking for. But dating does require discernment and a budget. I do expect when I'm showing up for a man that he shows up for me, because I'm investing time, effort, money, and I'm also expecting for him to show up with intention and respect. And nice girls enjoy dates as well. Fellas, your standards are your responsibility to enforce. This is not me saying you need to blindly spend $500 on a first date hoping that she picks you. Not every woman requires an expensive first date, and most quality women are not trying to be bought. It's more about presence than presence. See what I'm saying? But if you keep pursuing women who clearly want a luxury lifestyle and you don't have that lifestyle or budget, why are you surprised and angry when they expect for you to maintain what they showed you up front? You have to be honest about what you want and what you can sustain, because dating is an investment one way or another. It's just up to you how much and with whom.
A lot of these modern women keep on asking, where are all the chivalrous men at? What's going on with them? Well, it's simple. You mocked him into retirement. And so now instead of him coming out and approaching you, and even if y'all don't come together on some type of agreement, like, oh, I'm not interested, he might stick around and say, hey, you seem like a pretty cool dude. Now you don't even get that because you was being a loser, and now he's like, I don't want to deal with that crap.
If your mama didn't tell you, baby, I will. The reason why that toxic narcissistic man has moved on from you so quickly at lightning speed, you still stuck and trying to pick up the pieces, and you still trying to put your head back on straight because you've been flung around in circles, and his been flown past you, and now his trips being planned and weddings and engagements and babies and houses, and you looking like, how in the is this man moving on so quickly? First of all, you meant absolutely nothing. Hear me when I say that. You didn't mean to him. But toxic men, narcissistic men like this, they have to have supply. The supply comes from your attention, your love, your tears, your yelling, your screaming, your arguing, your all of the things. Everything that they get from you is what they use to survive. So when you walk the away from them, or they decide they want to leave you because they've used you so much and they ain't got shit else to get from you, now they're going to go and be with the woman who they know will give them what they need. Be it a roof over their head, food, whatever these men can get from you, they're going to get. However they need to manipulate the situation left, right, up, down, and sideways, they're going to do it. That new woman, she wasn't new, baby. You just didn't know. The reason why these men are moving on so quickly, they need to suck supply from somewhere. They are literal leeches. They are a parasite feeding off of you. And when they can't get else from you, or when you snatch the rug from under their feet, now they got to go and find somewhere else to get the supply from. Now they have to go and find someone to feed that fragile, fragile ego. But one and the same, I know it is absolutely maddening for a man to walk away from you after he has drug you through the dirt and then turn around and be with somebody else like nothing ever happened, like you didn't even exist. I know, but you can't look at what it looks like. What it looks like, that ain't what it is. I'm telling you right here, period, point blank. And you know what this man is capable of. You already know, but I understand the mental torture that you have gone through. I understand that you have been flung around in circles. And now you're walking through this fog and you can't see straight. I get it. But eventually that fog will lift and you will be able to see everything for what it is. But right now, when it looks like that man has moved on and like you meant absolutely nothing, understand you did not. You're right. Now it's time for you to mean something to you.
And I think modern women have to understand that you can't have it both ways. You've been loud and clear for literal years. Don't approach me in public. It's harassment. And men heard the message and they stopped. Simple as that. And now, for some reason, modern women are confused about why men are not approaching them. You created this situation. And then you're going to blame men for following the rules that you set. That doesn't make any sense. Think about what you're talking about.
Women were looking for what's admirable about this man. Like the question at the top of the head instead of what's wrong with him. What do I admire about him? What do I admire about him? What do I admire about him? Like a treasure hunt, looking for what there is about this person to admire. Even when there's a lot to not like, you can end up admiring them. Wow, I really admire that person. And so in answer to your question, the struggle comes from we're paying attention to the wrong thing. We're trying to be loved by being whatever we think will make them love us, on top of they already love us. And then we think we're dealing with a kind of woman that we can, if we just criticize them enough, they'll act right. And women criticize men because criticism changes women. We have almost no protection against criticism. If we're not engaged in admiring and respecting and liking ourselves, we'll be slayed by criticism. We will change from criticism. We think men are the same. And so we criticize them as a way to get them to change. And when they don't change, we think they didn't change because they don't love us. That's not why they didn't change. It's because they have a completely different relationship to criticism.
The cold approach died when approaching became a crime. It's really what happened, right? So when you started recording men, started insulting men, shaming men, doing all this other dumb stuff, that's when men said, oh, shoot, this not for me. Oh, this not the life for me. Oh, she's not that cute. Then, oh, man, I got dressed up. I look cute and no men approached me. Have you ever audited the way you act when men come and approach you? Have you ever thought about that?
If you are a very confident, outgoing woman who finds yourself dating men who just can't fully show up for you, I want you to listen to this. How I used to go about dating men is I would, see a man that I was interested in and I could tell that they were interested in me, but maybe they were a little bit shy about approaching me or they didn't know how to do it. And so what I would do is I didn't really trust them to be able to figure that out on their own. And I also had some fears around, am I worthy of someone overcoming their own limitations to be with me? And so what I would do is I would analyze them, think about their trauma, their childhood, whatever, and kind of give them tips or go down to reach them, ask them out, whatever it might be. And what this really set me up for was a relationship where I was constantly bridging the gap between the man that he wanted to be and the man that he really was in reality. And so it made my relationships really unequal, where I had to do a lot more of the work. And so something that I wish I had known is that men overcoming their, shame, fears about abandonment, about betrayal, self-consciousness, any of that is actually a really important initiation step in being with you. So it's really important that you let them go through that step and trust that you are worth someone stepping up and showing up fully for you right from the start, even if it's imperfectly. I think what we miss is that men are very often initiated through women. And so it's your job as a woman to hold your standard, to be the woman that you want to be, to encourage them, to, give signals that you're interested in this person, but then ultimately to respect them enough not to, mother them, be throwing ropes down there to get them up to your side, and just trust that they'll figure it out. And that way you will be with a man that you actually respect and also has been able to overcome his own, demons in order to ask you out, in order to know that he's worthy of love. And I just feel like this would have saved me so much time and effort, because you don't want to be with a man that you don't trust and respect. And you can't really trust and respect anyone unless you give them the opportunity to show you that they're worthy of that. And unfortunately, if you do it for them, they're not going to do it themselves, because this work is hard and you kind of need to be forced into it for some parts of it.
And then, you have so many women that are just weird. They're just weird. Oh, there's no reason to approach me. There's no reason to be around me, except to just have normal human interaction. There's so many women that complain about men not approaching, and men, not even for approaching, not even for dating purposes, but they just be social, man. I don't want to talk to women all the time. I want to talk to some guys. I want to see what they're up to. Well, whenever you guys talk sideways, whenever you guys talk crazy, what are you expecting a man to do? What do you think a man is going to be doing? You think a man is going to be walking up to you if you're not friendly? I mean, guys, come on, man. It's not rocket.
If you're a single guy in Newport Beach, why are you not hanging out at the Nobu Bar? Because it's literally all gorgeous women and there's not one man. It's literally the bar seats are full of women. Well, where's all the guys?
When my husband and I first started dating, he did something just absolutely amazing that I want to share with you guys. A story that stands out to me after all these years, not only because it was like the sweetest thing ever, what he did, but because it was almost like foreshadowing for how he was going to be for the rest of our relationship and through our marriage in all the hard times. So I wanted to go to the Eras Tour, and we all know the Eras Tour was very, very, very expensive. I was going to go by myself, and he was like, no, I want to go with you. Not because he was a big Taylor Swift fan, but because he just wanted to go to see me happy. So he bought his own ticket, spent a lot of money, literally just to go and be there with me. That's not the big deal though that was really sweet. The big deal was when we actually got to the Eras Tour, we didn't realize we were running late because we were hanging out in the car and just like talking, whatever. And we thought the opening act was still going on. No, Taylor had started. And when I realized that, I was super emotional. I was running through the parking lot, and then I have to wait through security. It was like a whole thing. I was so upset. And then I hear Cruel Summer playing, and that was a song I'd been wanting to see live for years. And I realized I was going to miss it, or I am missing it. I'm never going to see it again. And instead of my husband, my boyfriend at the time, instead of him judging me, making me feel silly, or being like, it's a 3.5-hour show, it's okay, it's no big deal, she's gonna play plenty of more songs. He didn't say anything like that, not one time. Instead, what did he say? He said, it's okay, we can come again tomorrow. And I was like, no, this is so expensive, that's crazy, we don't have to do that, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 songs. And when I wasn't looking, he booked the tickets for the next day. And he goes, this is just a warm up now. Get ready for round 2 tomorrow. This is not about the financial aspect of it, though that was obviously a very grand financial gesture. We'd only been dating a few months. But what it's really about is how well he supported me through my emotions without trying to make me feel dumb or silly, never judge them, never try to, do anything other than what would make Allie feel good right now? How can I help her feel better? And then he just did that, no matter what the cost was to him. And that has been foreshadowing for how our entire relationship and now marriage has gone. Because anytime that I am feeling any kind of emotion, he just loves me and supports me and does whatever it is that's going to help me feel better at all times, even if he doesn't feel the same way about whatever it is I'm feeling. My feelings always come first. And because of that, I have so much respect for him, and I want every woman to have a relationship like this. And how do we find a relationship like this? We choose partners like this. A lot of these things we can see early on, and that when that happened for me at that Taylor Swift concert, I already knew he was the one, but it 1000% confirmed he was the one, and everything's just gotten better and better since.
Do some of these guys on the dating apps and the single site realize how creepy they are? The minute a lady talks on there just about how dating is difficult and finding someone good, they flock to your DMs and want to take you here and take you there and want you to come over and watch a movie. That is creepy as to me. I need something a little more organic. They're always the old men. No offense, old men, but I don't like older men. So my rant is over. I'm very polite in saying that I'm talking to a couple of people right now. I'm not looking really to add anyone else into the mix. Is that polite?
As a man, I do think some men resent the fact that they have to pay, cry, and beg for something a woman can get easily. And what this comment is referencing is attention from men. Women get attention from men easily, even when they don't want it. Here's the thing, and here is the problem, and here is something that no matter how many times a woman will say it, it falls on deaf ears. Men do not have to pay, cry, or beg for dates, for attention from women. All they have to do is put effort into being someone that a woman desires. And it doesn't mean you have to be 6 foot tall with a 6-pack and earn 6 figures, okay? You have to decide for yourself if you genuinely like women and value them as human beings. If you don't, stop right there. If you only see women as serving the purpose of validating you, giving you schmegs, giving you services, stop. Do not pass go, okay? You shouldn't be dating, okay? If you genuinely respect and see women as human beings deserving of dignity, being adored, if you genuinely value them and you think like, God, I love women, great. Now put some effort into unpacking your emotional stuff so that you don't make women responsible for emotionally regulating you. Anytime you have a bad feeling in here, it's not her job to make you feel better. That's your job. Okay? Women don't want to emotionally regulate men. That's why women stay away. And then just the simple stuff, like you don't have to be dry gorgeous, but put some effort into like being clean and grooming yourself. I'll give you a great example. There's a guy at my gym who every day is chatting up a new pretty girl, and she's into him. You can tell by the body language. Like this guy, I don't know what's happening outside of the gym, but I don't think he's spending a lot of time alone. He is maybe 5'7". Maybe. He's in good shape. He's there a lot. And his grooming is so on point. I mean, he's just an average looking guy, but his grooming is so good that it makes him better. His haircut around his ears and neck, it is spotless, clean. He is freshly shaved. His skin is moisturized, glowy, and gorgeous. I want to ask him what he's doing. His clothing, nothing ripped, stained, out of shape. He's put an outfit together. It's not trying too hard. His shoes are clean. Small things like this make a difference. So if you don't want to pay, cry, and beg, you don't have to. You have to actually just put some effort into yourself. That's it.
Stay away from promiscuous women. That was my warning. So I got approached by a female friend of mine at the gym who said she didn't like what I said. And I said, what's wrong with what I said? And she just felt that it was disrespectful, and what applies for women should apply to men. I had to quickly remind her that men and women are not the same. She said, well, you shouldn't talk like that. I said, remember, you are on a male channel. This is how men talk. The conversation proceeded where she said, there's no more real men anymore here. Women want men to talk like them. They want to police our speech. But then when we become more like them, they don't want us. The men are too feminine. Ladies, can you see the problem? You want us to become more like women. You want us to talk like women. And then you complain when you don't get men. Please tell us, how the can we do both? Please let me know. Any ladies out there, because men are confused as all we're trying to do is get along with you all.
This is just me. I don't know if other girls feel this way, but the biggest turnoff for me is if a man gets really bothered by my rest and relaxation. If he gets very bothered by me being in my feminine energy and me just being playful, happy, and relaxed, if that bothers him, if that irritates him, that's a no for me. Also, if he praises how hardworking I am or how I'm so independent, that's just a major turnoff for me. Because if a man is in my life should be easier. And I feel that way. If my life is going to be harder with a man in the picture, I'm better off being single. I'm better off being because I'm living like a single woman. It's one thing if you're working because you genuinely enjoy it and it brings you peace and you want to make extra money and it genuinely brings you purpose versus having to work hard. There's a huge difference. That's the same man that's going to force you to clock into the job that you hate 9 months pregnant. Do you want to be with someone like that?
All rich men are difficult, spoiled, and mean to date with. That's a common opinion, and the reason why many women do not consider to have a provider man, high-value man, because they have this belief that these men are evil, But let's talk about it. Money do not bring out the qualities you don't have. Money just highlight whatever is within you. So there is the same amount of mean and evil people within rich and within poor groups. It just sometimes it's more noticeable among rich men because they allow themselves to act like that with no regrets, because they know that somebody will accept them the way they are. They don't need to pretend, so they bring all the heavy right away. Not only bad, but all the strange stuff, etc. They kind of have a mindset that here I am the way I am, it what made me successful, so accept me or leave. Poor guys though, they know that nobody will deal with their shit, so they hide it. They hide it until the point they're valuable for you, not with their money, but with feelings you have towards them. So the moment you are in love, here are all the strange moments, mean moments, evil moments. Now they finally can afford it because you're in love with them. So somehow it's even better to date rich men, because you see them the way you are almost right away, to a point, of course. And at least you know what you're dealing with. And what do you think about it? Let me know in comments.
Attractive people are not getting hit on like that.
Here comes the bull.
Especially attractive women.
Back we go to Delulu land where the Delilahs can't understand why they ain't getting the same attention from the single man.
It is usually the solid 4s and 5s that are getting approached regularly.
This one wasted no time before she dove head first into the shame.
Shame. Because that's where a lot of men's self-esteem level is.
I don't believe I heard you right.
They don't have the self-esteem level to talk to a woman that they would deem a baddie or a 10 or just a beautiful, stunning woman.
Flag on the play. So instead of her saying maybe it's some of these baddies up attitude and demands that they try to put on people they don't know, and that's probably why guys aren't approaching them. She'd rather shame the man and even the women who the men prefer.
You cannot make this up.
They usually are always, like I said, they are flooding the 4s and the 5s inboxes. I don't make the rules.
You treat them like animals, that's exactly how they'll behave. It's a good thing she doesn't make the rules, because no man would be going on a date. We'd just be sending our wallet as our representative. And with that being said, gentlemen, the moral to this story is simple. Solid men flirt with beauty, but we commit to behavior. So if the baddies can't deal with that, so be it.
And that's really it. That's really it. I think he's exposing what men go through. It's like a trap, right? Modern women have pretty much eliminated every single location that a man used to meet him, that a man used to approach. And then you're acting confused as to why men stop approaching you. Where else is he supposed to go? What else is he supposed to do? You told him, don't approach here, don't go there, don't do this, don't do that. And now guys are like, well, there's not really anywhere that I can approach without being labeled a creep. They had these women, man,